97 Honda Accord, and show you where that motor mount is. Place that, and you can see right here, this is the bracket that it connects into the stopper. See if we can't get over here. So yeah, it's right there. And you can see that right there where I'm pointing is the piece we're gonna be replacing. And this is the new one. I recommend getting the original Honda motor mounts just because I've heard that the aftermarket ones are pretty stiff and aren't the best quality. I jacked right under the oil pan just so we can keep that in place for the alignment of the bolts. I've read places where you don't really need to, but I just did just in case, really. Alright, so we're going to take that bracket off, and the bolts that are in there are going to require a 14 millimeter and a 17 millimeter. Right now I have the 14. I'm going to go ahead and start loosening that up. And before you go ahead and loosen that up, there's a harness right here that you're going to need to disconnect. So we got that disconnected, and that's the oxygen sensor harness. Store that to the back. Put that up front. Now we're clear. Ah, there we go. I got a little short ratchet, so I just use that pike post just to break it. This bad boy stuck. In there. Okay, so you see we got that bolt moved, those two bolts. And we had to use this guy to get that stopper bolt removed. Let's see if I can come over here. So you can see right where I'm pointing that light, that's where we removed it from. It's in there deep. So now we can remove this bracket. Just like this. And that's our front engine mount bracket that connects to the stopper. Do a quick little presentation. So this is what it's going to look like when we put it back in. And that bolt's going to go right through there. And this was that bolt. The service manual recommends that you replace this. I'm not, just because I don't want to go fetch one. Now we're going to pull this guy. You can see those are 17s all around. Okay, so the mount's out. That's where it goes. You can see that's where the bracket goes. Holy cow, is it terrible. Both of these are completely clean off. I don't know how that that was even holding anything together. But that explains why my engine would jump forward and backward pretty easy when shifting gears or shifting on park and reverse. Here's what a brand new one looks like. You can see this one, I mean, holy cow. This one's pretty solid. Now we're going to put that in. And this is what I had to use, of course, to get this bolt out and to get down into these bolts. I didn't get to videotape that, but now I'm actually going to clean the surface right there with the wire brush real quick. Alright, so clean that surface up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw that back in. Line those up. Okay, so we got that stopper back in place, ready for the stopper bolt to come in, and line that up with the bracket. Alrighty, I got that stopper lug in place, a little bit of hand turning just to make sure it's not cross-threaded, and we can start tightening that down now. And you don't want to tighten it too tight, honestly, until you get the bracket in and you know it's in the right place and the bolts are aligned. So now we're off to the bracket bolts. The 3 mount bolts at the bottom call for 69 pounds torque, and that's what I'm giving them. Yep, that's the last one. See, we have the bracket on and that stopper bolt in. Now we're gonna put these 3 back in and get those lined up. Once we get those lined up, then we're gonna torque the stopper bolt and then torque those. And okay, so we have those 3 bolts in to that guy right there. Let's see if I can. You can see it right where I'm pointing that flashlight. It's right there. We're gonna torque that. Okay, so we got that torqued, that stopper bolt to 47 pounds, and that's what the service manual calls for. And if you didn't see earlier, this is what you gotta use to get to that. Now we're gonna torque these all for 28 foot-pounds. And we're going to give those 28 foot-pounds and it should be good to go. Okay, so we got everything torqued. 28 foot. I believe that was 47. And the bolts were 69 down there for the mount. Everything's on. And we're going to give it a go. I really wish I would have videotaped what my engine bay was doing before I did this, because you could see how bad it shifted. I might not have mentioned is when you're doing that stopper bolt, you want to keep one of those in so it's not moving around. It's easier to break it. And I had trouble because this is a 21-year-old car in Michigan, so most of these bolts needed a breaker bar or an extension, which I use a seat post for a bike, and that helped breaking them. Before I put them in, I put a little bit of lubricant on it, just some Dollar General store stuff, and yeah, other than that, it looks like it went pretty well. Make sure to buy the original mount, or you could be doing this again.